Hi, my name is Rachel Robertson, and my oral ICU presentation is called Living Life on the Road. So for my ICU novel, I read The Road by Cormac McCarthy, and it's a novel set in a futuristic post-apocalyptic world where a man and his child travel the streets heading south to look for any signs of good in the world. They sleep in the cold, dark woods and search the roads desperately for any source of food or supplies. And I think by not giving the characters names, the author gives a sense to the reader that it could be happening anywhere to anyone in the world. And to get a little bit sense of the novel, this is the man and his little boy, and they've been living in this world for quite a long time, a couple of years, and they are slowly running out of food and sources, and they are slowly starving. Relationship to the world. So, although we do not live in a post-apocalyptic world, the novel does relate to the real world quite a bit. Many people in today's world have to live their lives surviving on the streets like the father and son in the novel. They have to live on the streets because they do not have anywhere else to go. Just like in the novel, homeless people have to live each day of their lives fighting to find food and a safe place to sleep. They live knowing that they are never safe on the roads. So many people believe that homeless only means to be living on the streets, but a homeless individual is actually defined in section as an individual who lacks housing. They have to live on the streets, stay in shelters, missions, single room occupancy facilities, abandoned buildings or vehicles, or in any other unstable or non-permanent situation. And here's just a couple photos. So this man has to beg for food because he doesn't have the money to afford it on his own. And sometimes they have to live in the streets, but that doesn't always mean they have to live on the streets. Some of them are able to sleep in shelters like these, but also some people can't find these shelters because they are not near them. So I mainly focused on homelessness in Canada. Although it is a huge worldwide issue, I focused on Canada. So here's some homeless statistics. 200,000 Canadians experience homelessness in any given year. 150,000 Canadians a year use a homeless shelter at some point. 30,000 Canadians are homeless on any given night, and 50,000 Canadians are part of the hidden homeless on any given night, which means that they have to stay with friends or relatives or any temporary basis because they have nowhere else to go and they don't have their own stable house. So the causes for becoming homeless, there are many reasons why one may become homeless, but the two main categories are personal and sexual. So for personal causes, a number of different personal and social factors can contribute towards people becoming homeless. These may include one or more of the following. Individual factors, which include lack of qualifications, lack of social support, debts, especially mortgage or rent arrears, poor physical and mental health, relationship breakdowns, and getting involved in crime at an early stage. Also, family background, which includes family breakdown and disputes, sexual and physical abuse in childhood or adolescence, having parents with drug or alcohol problems, and previous experience or family homelessness. And the last one being institutional background, which includes having been in care, the armed forces or prison, and now they have nowhere else to go after that. The second one is structural causes, social and economic in nature, and are often outside the control of the individual or family concerned. Some examples of these are unemployment, poverty, a lack of affordable housing, housing policies, the structure and administration of housing benefit, wider policy developments such as the closure of long-stay psychiatric hospitals, And when completing a survey by asking homeless people the cause for them becoming homeless, the 3 most common answers were parents, friends, or relatives unwilling or unable to continue to accommodate them, relationship breakdowns including domestic violence causing them to have to leave, and loss of an insured short-hold tenancy. So here is just a little video to show the life of a homeless person.
We set out to discover a story untold by observing a person's lifestyle. No sooner had we arrived that we found our story. His name is Daniel Mahar.
What's a typical day like for you?
Well, I have a nice place to stay right up the block here, and it's sheltered, out of the rain. But I have to be out of there by 6 or 7
PM? Oh, AM?
Yeah, and I can't go back in here till 6, 7 o'clock. But my day starts down here at 7:30 to have a nice JC Deco toilet right there.
Yeah. Are you happy with this lifestyle?
No.
Is anything stopping you from?
My physical well-being is stopping me. I had a job that I lost last year, the last of August, I had for 7 years. And the students decided to fire me.
Oh wow.
So I went to Colorado and I quit drinking. But somehow it didn't work out, so I came back here. And as soon as I came back here, I started drinking.
Yeah.
It's really bad. No, I don't. I wish I could go back to work.
Do you get a lot of charity, or do you? How do you?
Yes, I do get a lot of charity from people that see me around on a regular basis.
That's great.
Yeah. And I try to recycle as much as I can, so I have an extra $20 every couple days.
Yeah.
I'm living on almost nothing.
Yeah.
Most of my income goes for beer and tobacco.
Beer and tobacco.
Yeah.
We felt the need to completely immerse ourselves in Daniel's life. After talking with Daniel, we felt compelled to display all aspects of his lifestyle because he had truly opened himself up to us. We began our journey.
So, would you consider yourself an alcoholic?
Yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, I'm at the Donna state of it now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have something, you have to have tobacco, same thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wishes they could quit smoking.
Yeah.
It's easier to quit heroin or alcohol than it is to quit smoking.
Not too bad.
Nickel and dime. Yeah.
So, did you grow up in New York?
Yeah, upstate New York.
Upstate, and you lived with your parents and siblings?
I live with my mother, 2 brothers, and a sister.
Wow. So, are you in contact with them now, or
They hate my guts.
they hate you?
Yeah, I let them down
Why is that?
because I'm not a success story. My daughter was missing for 26 years after my wife left. She found me.
So that's just a clip to show what this homeless man has to do on a daily basis to survive on the streets, and it relates back to the causes, and he tells a story about how he originally became homeless. The next is risk factors. So Living on the streets is actually very dangerous, and they risk a lot of things, including vulnerability. People living on the streets have no safe place to go, and therefore they are very vulnerable to any sorts of danger. Lack of employment. People who lose their jobs or who are unable to keep a job don't have the income they need to survive. Mental health problems. There's actually 33% of all homeless people do have a mental disorder. Psychotic harassment. Unfortunately, a lot of homeless people do get harassed living on the streets by just people walking by or other homeless people. And even police have known to get quite physical. Getting arrested. They do risk this, and sometimes they actually do this on purpose because they have no safe, secure place to go, so they get themselves arrested so they can have a safe place to sleep in jail. The weather is very risky, especially in Canada. Frostbite is winter's #1 hazard for homeless people. The second is the danger of illness associated with cold weather. The cold lowers immunity and thickens blood, increasing the risk of everything from infection to heart attack. They have to fight to survive, so they have to go around looking for food if they don't have the money to buy it their own. And they're all fighting for themselves, the homeless people. So sometimes they can get physical with each other because they have nothing else to do to find food. And so all these risk factors are very dangerous to the homeless people, and some in very bad cases, in extreme measures, it could lead to death. So relating back to the road, unfortunately the road did not have a very happy ending. The father dies from living life on the road, because, like I said earlier, the weather was just terrible. It was too cold and his immunity was not good, so he was constantly getting sick and he couldn't get better. And also, without many food on the road, they couldn't find enough to keep both his son and himself alive, so he gave all of the food to his son to keep his son healthy, and he starved and unfortunately dies. This relates to real life because some homeless people in the real world really do end up dying from the result of living on the streets. Although this happens every day, there is a way that we can change it, or at least try to decrease the odds of this happening. So the solutions to minimize homelessness, I found out that 740 homeless people have died in Toronto from the past couple of years, and these are the only ones accounted for. There could be some unknown ones. So I was very surprised and concerned about this because I think we need to take action to stop this. So some solutions to minimize homelessness are prevention, by addressing the early stages of homelessness by helping people retain their housing or find new accommodations. We can prevent them from becoming homeless. Raising the welfare rates would help a lot so they could get enough money to have a stable life. Providing more permanent housing. We do have very good shelters around, but unfortunately this can't accommodate everyone, and so we need to do something else in order to give them more permanent places to live. Proper medical care when dealing with mental illness. I think if we get them in a better healthy mind, then this will get them off of the streets. And providing free rehabilitation centers would also help, because getting them off drugs or alcohol or any of their addictions would benefit them and help them get them off the streets. And providing assistance to find proper employment, so giving a place for them to find jobs or find somewhere to work, and giving them maybe suits and letting them dress up a bit would help them get some jobs. And And so I think all these are very important, and we need to take action and kind of decrease some of these statistics. And so this is my presentation, and I have a Kahoot to do to kind of relate back to everything and